Happy Friday, Bishop Brian Lyons. I have a couple of things I want to bring you up to date on. First of all, good luck to all our student athletes this weekend. Play hard and represent us with class as we get on the court and the field this weekend. We're getting closer to playoff time, which is always a special time, even if we're not able to be able to have some of the same number of fans at the games that we're used to. Which leads me to my second point. Governor Burgum released revised guidance yesterday dealing with large gatherings. For us at Bishop Ryan, this means that we are looking at the way we will be planning school masses going forward, as well as who may attend sporting events. We have limited amounts of regular season sporting events left this fall before playoffs begin. For those regular season events, we are moving to limiting attendance to the parents of the student athletes. Once we move to the postseason, North Dakota High School Activities Association takes over the governance of those events, and we will get that information to you when it becomes pertinent. For more information on what the guidance is, you can just look at North Dakota Department of Health or North Dakota Smart Restart guidance on large gatherings. Third, I want to thank our parents and students for your positive response to my video last Friday encouraging masks. As everyone knows, the virus is moving through our community, by which I mean Minot, right now at an increased rate. The good thing, which Governor Burgum acknowledged at his weekly presser this week, is that our schools are not super spreaders, and he cited a Brown University study to that effect. And his advice was for schools to stay in school even as the risk levels for many counties moved higher. So what's the takeaway from this? I would say I want us to keep a few things before us as we watch the case numbers climb in our community. First, let's be realistic about this. The virus is moving through the community. Bishop Ryan students and parents are part of the larger Minot community. We're not an isolated bubble. And so we know that no matter what we do, we will have students and teachers that will be close contacts or even positive cases. Our job is to act reasonably by operating the school in a way that takes positive steps to mitigate spread without paralyzing our ability to act. So don't be surprised if we have more cases and close contacts in the school now and in the coming weeks. When we talk about keeping people safe, what we can't mean by that is guaranteeing that no one gets sick. This is simply a fantasy. When I talk about keeping people safe, what I really mean is utilizing what limited options we have to lessen the chances that the virus spreads within the school uninhibited. But what is the size of the effect that our hygienic practice, social distancing, contact tracing, and mask wearing are having? I have no idea. It may be a lot of work for minimal help. It might be a huge help. Either way, it's worth doing. And also, it's very, very hard to know the answer to that question. Hard to say. But what we should not think is that somehow if everyone would be wearing masks all the time, or kids were another foot apart in the classrooms, or we didn't let them play in the playground, that particular cases wouldn't happen. It's not how this works. It can be true that both we are making reasonable decisions to mitigate spread and that people, even many associated with Bishop Ryan, will be positive cases. In times of crisis, we need to have the courage to press on despite danger and difficulty. That is what courage is. Secondly, thank you to all of you for helping me out in this position as COVID coordinator. I'm not a trained contact tracer. I think, though, that I did stay at a Holiday Inn Express at some point in my life. So I'll credit any good that I do in this position to that life experience. There have been 3 instances in the last day in which the people that I identified as close contacts turned out not to be close contacts after doing more investigation. So if something doesn't seem right to you when you get a letter, by all means, give me a call. I won't be able to tell you what the positive case is because of HIPAA, but I'll try to gather more information to make the best determination I can. Also, the state is way behind in testing and contact tracing right now, or maybe that's not the right way to say it. Maybe it's just that they are doing so much that that the timeliness of their response to each test and each case is not super fast. So there may be a lag time in getting results. So if your children are being tested, please keep them home until the test comes back, because if that test comes back positive, then there may be 3 or 4 days worth of time that needs to be looked at to contact trace, which becomes extremely difficult. Finally, just to say a word about why I'm not posting our numbers of positive cases. While I understand that looking at numbers might give us a sense of control, I don't think they are meaningful numbers because our school is not an isolated community. So the number of cases in our school may or may not be a direct representation of what we're doing within the school. If we were on a desert island together without any other people around, then I think that reporting cases for our school might make sense. The numbers you should watch and care about, at least in my estimation, are the hospitalization rates in the state and Ward County. Flattening the curve, after all, is meaningful insofar as what we do tries to keep us under the threshold of overwhelming the healthcare system, which is being stressed right now. Looking at the number of positive cases of students and or staff is not all that meaningful because it doesn't change anything for us, with the exception of trying to maintain adequate staffing of our classrooms should staff become positive. And this is not something the public needs to be involved in. So going forward, I'm going to continue to simply send out letters to close contacts and people who may have been exposed to a person who has tested positive, but are not identified as close contacts. So hopefully that clarifies a couple of things. I don't like this any more than anybody else, but I appreciate your support, and I appreciate your willingness to support and to help us out so that our kids can stay in school and we can ride this wave out together, which is ultimately what we're going to have to do. So have a great weekend. Bye now.